Hello and welcome to the Ilene Silverman Show. I'm your host Ilene, and on this week's program, our guest, Dr. Bruce McFadden, discusses the goals and mission of the UF Thompson Earth Systems Institute and the impact of the scientist in every Florida school program. Stay with us, we'll be right back. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us for our program. I'm very pleased to introduce my guest, Dr. Bruce McFadden, Director, UF Thompson Earth Systems Institute. And Bruce, it's wonderful to have you here. Not only are you leading this institute, but you are a distinguished professor at UF and the Florida Museum of Natural History, a curator, and a friend for many years. And I think back to about 2 years ago when you were given the honor of directing this new institute, and how we talked about how we'd do a show, and then another year passed and more was happening, and we were going to do a show last April, and here we are with a pandemic in masks, but we're smiling. So thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me on your show.
What you're doing is so very important. Thank you. And tell me first a little about what you do teach at UF. What's your field?
So my field of study is paleontology, the study of fossils and ancient life. But now I'm teaching more about the importance of science and society, and bringing the science to the general public so they can better understand about the ancient worlds that we study.
Well, and it's so important now. There's so much happening, and the Thompson's wonderful gift, Beverly and John, that started their UF Thompson Earth Systems Institute. Tell us how that all began, because it is just so timely.
The Thompsons have been strong supporters of the university in many ways, and they've been very generous to our museum.
Yes.
And they've funded a professorship in the museum and the Children's Discovery Center and other initiatives at the museum. And about 3 years ago, they decided that they wanted to do something really special in terms of the future of our state and understanding of the Earth and its environmental systems. So they worked with Doug Jones, our director, and decided that they wanted to create the Thompson Institute for the study of Earth systems. And Earth systems, of course, is the study of the interaction between air, water, land, and life, and then human impacts on those natural systems.
Well, and I remember you came to our board meeting, probably last March, at the Florida Museum of Natural History, where I'm a proud member of our Associates Board. You were explaining it. I remember writing down, okay, air, water, land, life. Well, now I'm beginning to understand it. So help us all.
So any system of the world, any natural system, if something happens or disturbs one of the systems, then it affects other systems of the Earth. Take, for example, the polar ice caps, which are melting. So that's part of the water.
Right.
And what that does is, as the ice caps are melting, of course, sea level is rising, and that changes the land system and the animals and plants that live on land. So the melting of the polar ice caps has effects all over the world by impacting other natural systems.
And this helps us to appreciate and understand that we're all interrelated.
Everything is interrelated.
Yes.
All nature or natural systems, including humans, are interrelated.
And the understanding of that seems to me of utmost importance for us to move ahead, to survive, to understand what we need to do for a better world.
Absolutely, and until you understand something about the Earth systems, it's hard for you to understand what will happen in the future if we don't try to protect our environment and natural systems in Florida. So the Institute is primarily focused on communicating about the science of Earth systems for the benefit of Floridians so that we can make good decisions about the future of our state.
Again, very important, and there's wonderful ways through your website, social media, that all our viewers will find out how they can take part in this. We're going to take a quick break because there's so much more to talk about, and I'm appreciative. It's important. Thank you, Bruce.
Very good, thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're back talking about the UF Thompson Earth Systems Institute. And Bruce, you were explaining really the Thompson's vision for this institute, and help us to understand more about that.
Sure. So the University of Florida has hundreds of scientists that study Earth Systems Institute, and they're advancing knowledge through their research discoveries. So the Thompsons had this vision of a new kind of institute that would not duplicate the science that was already being done at the University of Florida related to Earth system science, but they wanted an institute that would help those scientists do a better job of disseminating the knowledge and discoveries that are made by the University of Florida for the benefit of people throughout Florida and beyond.
Well, okay, so here I am, one of the many that could benefit, and I've been privileged to know John and Beverly Thompson, and they're just such warm, wonderful people all these years through my association with the Florida Museum. So this is just such a wonderful gift. So how would I best access that knowledge, or others?
Well, you can look at our web. You can follow our website. You can. We have newsletters that you can sign up for.
Okay.
There's a really good newsletter called Earth to Florida that talks about environmental issues that relate to Earth systems in Florida. And then we have a teachers newsletter we have over 1,000 teachers in our network, as well as 300 scientists that go out and disseminate the knowledge to different kinds of audiences.
Okay, so there's lots of different opportunities.
Absolutely.
And yes, the website, which we're making available all that knowledge to our viewers, it has a wonderful video that I explained a great deal more about Earth systems.
Great.
And added to my knowledge, certainly. And so as you expand this, there's more components to it also. And the University of Florida, our President Fox, also turned a corner with his Moonshot Initiative. So how does that combine with the Thompsons Institute?
So in the summer of 2018, President Fox and Tom Mitchell from the foundation decided that they wanted to challenge the faculty of the University of Florida to propose seemingly unattainable projects that would be game changers in terms of the future of our state. So the Moonshot takes its name from President Kennedy in the early 1960s,
Right.
who proposed that we would put a man on the moon by the end of the decade in the 60s, and at that time in 1962 and 1963, we didn't have the scientific and technology infrastructure to do that, but sure enough, through the ingenuity of the United States, the science and research enterprise were able to do that, of course, in 1969. So that's a moonshot.
Right.
And the president and vice president for development wanted the same thing and challenged the faculty of the University of Florida to suggest really game-changing projects. And there were about 9 or 10 that were funded at the end of the summer of 2018, and although our institute had just gotten started at the time, we were only 2 months old, we were fortunate enough to get one of the Moonshots funded, which now is one of the major programs in our institute.
Oh, see, it just all came together at the right time. I just see there's so much promise in what you're teaching us. And as I've learned from exploring and hearing about the Institute, Florida is a very important state in how things will evolve in our Earth systems as years go by. So people are looking to Florida to see what are we doing and
That's
how
right.
are we handling the change, as you have said, with our 4 systems that are certainly coming. And
That's right.
we need to work together to make it all be better for the future. for
And
our future and those that will follow for generations to
That's
come.
right. And to better understand
Right.
what will potentially happen in the future.
Because if we understand it now, we can still turn that corner.
Certainly
make a
hope so.
difference.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what we would hope.
I know, I agree, and I think what the Thompsons have started is going to make all that difference. And now we're going to take another quick break, but come back and talk about that other Moonshot project. Stay with us, we'll be right back. We're back talking about the UF Thompson Earth Systems Institute. And Bruce, through this Moonshot Initiative, a wonderful program has evolved. And we want to know all about it. Scientists in every Florida school. What a great opportunity for K through 12 students, and what a wonderful advantage you're providing to everyone, our future generations.
Exactly. So yeah, there are more than 4,000 public schools in Florida, and our goal over the next several years of this pilot project is to reach as many of the schools as we can to teach them about Earth system science and the future of Florida, and also to support the teachers as well in terms of providing them content and curriculum that advances knowledge that's being discovered on the campus of the University of Florida by our scientists.
Well, and this project was underway, and explain it a little more.
Sure.
How you reach out to them with the curriculum, how you set up the program, so we can
So we would
understand.
do teacher training or teacher professional development. We would have summer institutes or weekend teacher professional days where we would focus on a particular topic within Earth systems. 2 years ago it was the biosphere, and last year it was the nature of science, how we do science. And this is something that teachers have told us that they really are excited to learn about in terms of what's going on the campus at the University of Florida. And then also we would go into actual classrooms and make presentations by real scientists so that the students could see what it was like to do real science. And the other thing I should say is many of our real scientists are graduate students from different backgrounds who could go in and relate better to
Right.
kids closer to their age than, say, if I were to go in the classroom.
No, I understand. The student could look at the scientist and go, that could be me.
Exactly.
That's what you
And
want.
that's what we
you
wanna
want them
do.
to see that.
Yeah, we want the students in the schools to understand that if they want to be a scientist, they can be, and they can identify as being a scientist, and that's very important in sort of the progression of whether or not you think you can do this.
And we talk about the STEM courses, the importance of that, and giving the kids the confidence that they can
Exactly.
handle this type of information.
Yes.
Of course, then here comes the global health crisis, a pandemic, and you have to pivot for COVID-19 and
Right.
kind of turn a corner. How'd
So-
you handle that?
Well, just within a matter of months, we completely changed from the majority of our programs being in person to all of our programs being virtual. We had to do that because we couldn't
Right.
go into the classroom, and we couldn't have 30 teachers doing professional development, so everything became virtual, and we did that in a matter of months. And what we've learned from that is, although there is no substitute for having sort of that interaction of people in a room, the face-to-face interaction,
Right.
what this has taught us is we can reach more people through virtual platform. Through the virtual platform, we use Zoom, and with that, it allows us to reach many more people. For example, in the past,
Right.
we might have gone. A scientist may have gone into a middle school in Fort Myers or something like that, and reached 30 students in the classroom and one teacher. And now we can reach hundreds of students
Right.
and multiple teachers in multiple classes and schools.
I mean, it's unfortunate that we had to pivot and turn this corner because of COVID-19, but it has shown something, just what you're saying, other ways that we can reach people and reach more people that I don't think will go away.
Right.
That will be here to stay
We'll be
because
able
it's
to-
a good tool.
Yes, we'll be able to use what we've learned in terms of virtual programming to increase the reach
Right.
into schools and with teachers.
And it's just so important. I have several nephews in school here, and I'm always asking them what are their favorite subjects. And I always feel so good when they say, I like science, I like math. And I go, yes, not all the disciplines are important, but encouraging children, well, that's what you've done your whole life. Whether it's students at UF or younger students through this program, that has been a focus of your teachings and your life's work. And we're going to talk more about that. We're going to just take another quick break, Bruce. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We're talking about the UF Thompson Earth Systems Institute. And Bruce, what about other audiences that you are serving, that you're reaching out to?
Sure. So we have about 4 or 5 different audiences that we hope to serve when we've discussed K-12 and the next generation.
Right.
But we're also serving the scientists who conduct the research at the University of Florida, connecting with them so we can do a better job and help them to disseminate the knowledge of their discoveries. That's another audience. We're also looking at lifelong learners, so anyone of any age who's interested in learning about science or just generally curious and might get interested in Earth system science by one of our public programs. For example, we might do a Science on Tap, which we've done before. Although right now that's tough to do virtually. It's tough for the beer to flow when you're connecting on the website.
We try, but
yeah. But so lifelong learners is another audience. And then we'd like to be able to be a trusted source of knowledge to policy and decision makers in Florida when they really want to understand the scientist viewpoint. So K-12 education, scientists in general at the University of Florida.
Right.
I should also mention, and students at the University of Florida who are interested in science, because we teach classes related to Earth system science.
Right.
Okay. And then lifelong learners, and then policy and decision makers in Florida. And we're primarily focused on Floridians because that was the intent of the gift from the Thompsons.
Right.
But our knowledge doesn't stop at the state line.
No.
And so we like to say we're primarily focused on Florida and beyond.
Well, that makes sense
It
because
does.
what happens here, just
Right.
as we're seeing, you've told me, all interrelated, interdisciplinary viewpoint of science. That's what this Earth Systems Institute is all about.
Right.
So, yes, it doesn't stop right as we leave Florida because everybody's impacting everyone else.
That's right.
And you really are primed to make such a significant difference through this gift, through that the Thompsons have given us and you to lead forward. And so how could others in this community be a part of that? How could they help?
Well, the first thing, if you're interested in what we're talking about tonight, you can look at our website. And as I said before, you can sign up for various the newsletters that we have. We have an information newsletter, a monthly newsletter, and then we have a content newsletter called Earth to Florida, and then of course we have the K-12 Educators newsletter, and we've built a network of more than 1,000 teachers and more than 300 scientists. And if you want to be part of this community, you can sign up for one of the newsletters. And of course, if you're interested in helping, because this project is being funded by the University of Florida Foundation, certainly we would welcome your philanthropic gifts to the Institute.
Yes, it's definitely meaningful. And think back on, I know you feel that you are achieving so much, and we are all so proud for you. Bruce, think back in your life. What turned the corner for you? Why did you become a scientist?
A couple of things. One is when I was a child, I would go to the American Museum of Natural History with my family, and I was captivated by dinosaurs, and I guess I never grew up, so I'm a paleontologist that had a childhood fascination with dinosaurs, and now I just, I'm fortunate enough to be able to be a professional paleontologist. Yes. I was also influenced by a teacher of earth science in 10th grade named Mr. Greenstein, who encouraged my interest in science and paleontology, and to him I'm forever grateful.
Right, so he saw that opportunity within you, nurtured it, and made a tremendous difference. And I think all of us can think back to teachers in our lives that have done so in different ways. It's such a gift, and so you're giving that gift. You're paying it forward.
Yeah, I think it's really important to give back to society, and who better than the teachers and what they do for society. And if we can help them teach about modern content and research discoveries of our systems, then we're doing what we need to do for society.
I agree, and it is a perfect fit for our Florida Museum of Natural History, our mission to inspire others to understand and appreciate our Earth, and the Thompson's gift is just a wonderful marriage of that.
It is.
And Beverly and John are such gracious, generous people to make this happen. It is a wonderful opportunity, and I congratulate you. I remember the email 2 years ago from our director of the museum, Doug Jones, announcing that you would be the director of the UF Thompson Earth Systems Institute, and it's just been wonderful to gain a sense of knowledge about it, Bruce. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ilene.
And for everyone that is able to be a part of this, that's working hard, to all those teachers still out there having made the pivot, and we know it's not easy.
No.
And for yourself, all your classes are online. And we're so happy now that our Florida Museum has opened its doors, even if some things are a little different. We're social distancing, we're
Right.
wearing masks, but we're bringing people back, and it's so important. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, and for smiling behind your mask. And I am so glad that you tuned in. I hope you will join us next week. Take care.